Alright guys, what I got here is a 2005 Honda Accord with an ignition problem. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have already ran into this. And you went to install ignition into your Honda and it didn't run. Well, I got it to run, okay? But it's obviously it's going to have to go to a dealership, get reprogrammed. I can't find no other way around it. The only way I can find around it is why I'm making this video, just to show you. So if you're on the side of your house and you're thinking, oh, man, I got to get this thing towed to the Honda dealership. Well, I can spare you from that tow, and I can at least spare you for the moment if you want to use your car, okay? But this is going to be trickery, all right? Now you stick the new key into the ignition, it's going to read it. It's, something wrong. It'll start flashing that little green key up there when I turn it forward. See, it's flashing the green key. Alright. What I did is, this little thing here is off the old ignition. This is the transponder. They give you a new one with the new ignition assembly. I got the whole assembly. But this got to be programmed to the ECU. So because it's not programmed to the ECU, what I did was I unplugged it and plugged it back into the original one off the ignition. I got it hanging here. Just hanging here for the ride for now. And this is the original key right here that was with the Honda. Now what I do, if I stick that key right inside of this ring, right here, and I hold it in there, and put this key back in here, and I'm going to put this key in here, and we'll turn this forward. Now watch. Our flashing key went away. Okay? Our flashing key went away. Watch. She now runs. Now that it's running, I'm going to pull that key out of there. It's running. Don't need to keep it there. It just needs to be there for that initial reading off that signal. I guess it's in there. There's a chip in there right in that metal base of that key, and it has to read it inside that ring. If it don't pick up that signal and it doesn't match the ECU signal that it's expecting, it's not going to start. Like I said, I can shut this back off now. Even though it's running, I can shut this back off. And automatically keys flashing. See that? Now watch. Nothing. We'll shut it back off. I'm going to stick the key back into there. Like I said, I'm just holding the key into the thing like it's in the ignition with it, Hold it through there. Turn the key on forward. Little green light went out. Crank. Starts, runs. Okay. Now there might be a chance this little trick might not work for you. This car had an actual ignition problem. Where the key just no longer would turn the lock assembly in there. Watch out, Jordan. Let me squeeze past you, buddy.
What up, what up, what up?
Jordan saying what up to everybody. What I do with that other assembly? It's right here. Is that? Hold on. Yeah, this thing was a real piece of work to get out of there too, guys. I mean, you've probably seen other videos out there. They don't give you no way to really get these bolts out of here. So basically what I did was I took my grinder to the one and I grinded a flathead tip into it, so I could get a little flathead screwdriver on it, and then I screwed it out. But it still was really tight. So technically, once I grinded a little spot in it, it didn't want to turn with my screwdriver with ease. So I got in there with my air chisel and nipped it one time real quick, and it turned it that way. Then it just threaded out, and then I just bent the one side up and pulled this off. But yeah, like I said, the original key would go in there. It just jams. It don't even feel right when it goes in there. In fact, it's all tight. But there's no action there. So I at least got the car so I could get it to run for the customer. But the sad thing is I got to relay them the message that they're still going to have to go take a little trip to Honda, or I'm going to have to call Honda and see if maybe I can shoot this car out to them. They'll reprogram this key for me, But for now, at least I know a little method. At least I could get the car maneuverable for my customers so they could use their car. Or at least I could take it to the dealer for them. Whatever. Like I said, it's movable. I can get it back outside for now and pull another one in. Mess with the next one. At least I know how to get it off and on. But I'm going to have to leave this little piece hanging out the cover for now somehow. Or I'm just going to let him put the cover back on until we get this all programmed. I'll just go from there. Just leave it off for just in case, And on this Accord, I'll give you a little rundown on how I even pulled the whole thing out of there if you want. Real fast. You're going to take out this little cover here. Okay. For the bezel for the dash, for the gauges here, for the cluster here. This little guys, two little screws up on the top of that, and pull this out. It's a start, okay? Because you're going to have to get your screwdriver in here to go up and down on some things. These are all pull tabs on the top of this, as you can see. So this piece just pulls out, and there's a couple screws on the bottom of that. And I did that just to give me some room just to get the lower cover up out of there off of the tilt lever, because it was in the way of the lower cover coming down. And that also was just a couple screws, 3 of them in the bottom going straight up. And the top piece basically just clicks on by these little plastic notches. So once you get the 3 screws out of the bottom of the column area, you're going to get a screwdriver up here and just pry that piece apart, pull it out of your way. You know, that's the basic it. And then after that, like I said, prepare to grind the little bolts that are, you see them right here.
You'll put that on YouTube?
Yeah, these are replacement bolts now that come with the new ignition. So I could just bolt that back in there. But the other part of the issue, like I said, it just won't start with the new key, and that kind of sucks, you know. I mean, it's terrible that the VATS thing, it would be nice if it was programmed with the key and then with this little unit, then which was plugged into the ECU. Unfortunately, it don't work that way. It still don't understand the signal. So there's something going on here. And like I said, if you found my video, this might work for you. If you're using your OEM key and it still turns the ignition and you got that green light flashing, well, then you got a problem with your this transponder thingy here. You got a problem exactly with this is malfunctioning, and you might not be able to do this trick at all. So you're gonna have to get a new transponder, and you're just gonna be screwed all together, I'd imagine. There's gonna be no way to start it. So either way, guys, I don't know if this video is any helpful. There's a bunch of them out there already. I'm having the same problem myself. I was trying to figure out, going off of what other guys was doing. I at least found a way to get the car to run. I started thinking that in my head, I bet you if I unplugged that and stuck the old key in there and tried it that way, it would run. And it did. That's pretty wild. So it then thinks it has the right key in it. And once it's running, it don't lock it out. So that's a good thing, you know. So like I said, I'll put this little bottom cover back in for now. Put the rest of the little screws in the column. I got to put the little bolt the little turn signal switch back, or screw the little turn signal switch back to the ignition part. Like I said, you're gonna have to cut them off, and there is a couple screws. I didn't actually mention them ones either. There's like one here. It's right there. There's one on either side underneath the bottom there. The turn signal switch and the wipers. You have to get them one on each side. There's one over here, right in that area. You can put one there. And then I think there was like 2 going straight down into it up from top. Back here. Right by the other ones you got to cut off. So it's not a real hard job to actually get the ignition into it. It's just a bummer to find out once you do all the work, you know, you have to take it back to Honda. That seems to be the only method right now that I know of. So either or, I found a little bit of a way to get it movable. That's all this video is basically about, and it might help one of you guys out there. So it's not the answer to getting it fixed, but it's an answer to maybe get you movable. So hope this is some help for you guys. And yeah, please sub, man, comment, subscribe, and see you then. You know, thank you very much.